Alright guys, welcome to the Code A Finals! I am Wolf and with me is Unstable. We've got a PvP coming up for you guys. And I'm not pretending like I'm excited. I actually am. I really like PvP. Some people don't. But today, maybe you'll change your mind. Two great Proasses clashing at it here at the GSL Code A Finals.
Yep, best of 7 between Tassadar and Puzzle. Both these guys have done a great showing all the way through Code A, and I want to see who goes into and takes that Code S spot if they will take this one down.
Yeah, remember guys, this isn't about the money. You know, there's a little bit of pride that comes into it as well. But most importantly, whoever wins this gets Code S. And I actually was informed just right before this, you know, like I actually thought that the second place person got to pick their groups. That's not even the case.
No.
So it's even more important, it's more stressful. Like this is the way to get the most out of Code A. Win this final.
Yep. Well, that's what all these Korean players want to do. When they come into the Code A qualifiers, they're not thinking about winning Code A. They're thinking about going into Code S. They don't even, well, I'm not saying they don't care about everything else, but they just really want to focus on getting to that top tier platform and prove that they can perform with the best. So we are going to have our first map on dual site.
Yeah.
We've seen some interesting PvPs on this so far through the season.
Yeah, we have. Last time I remember there was a Dark Shrine and the Colossus that was not cancelled.
Yes.
Down there you guys can see you can follow GomTV on Twitter. You can go to m.gomtv.net on your mobile phone. Obviously, to watch this, you have to go to gomtv.net as well. Tell your friends about gomtv.net. Tell them to watch the VODs. If they never watched StarCraft before, remember you can watch the first VOD for free. So tell your friends to go over there, check it out. They'll probably buy it immediately as soon as they watch it. So, and there's the Code S Finals date is on July 30th. It's in the Yonsei University Grand Hall. So,
which I unfortunately won't be here for. You will.
It's probably not that far away from Mukdong, I would guess. But yeah, that's coming up. Obviously, it's going to be a pretty big deal. A lot of good stuff going on into Code S. But we're going to take a look at these players in just a second.
독하게 하고 무조건 결승 가서 코드S를 직행해야겠다라는 목표를 가지고 있었는데 그 목표를 일단 결승까지 온 거에 대해서 너무 기분이 좋은 것 같아요.
이렇게까지 많이 올라올 줄은 몰랐는데 대진을 보니까 근데 제가 운이 좋았던 건지 상대분들이 긴장을 하시는 건지 잘 모르겠는데 어쨌든 올라와서 다행인 것 같아요.
아무래도 4강 이동영 선수가 가장 기억에 남고요. 그 선수랑 할 때 거의 다 장기전이었던 것 같은데 장기전이었던 만큼 이긴 것도 2배가 돼서 더 좋았던 것 같아요.
네, 문성원 선수. 제 첫 GSL 개인 리그 데뷔이기도 하고 그 전까지 분위기도 굉장히 좋았던 분이라서 제일 기억에 남아요.
사람들이 제야 토스 투탑이라고 부르시던데 전 그렇게 생각하지 않고요. 전 제가 원탑이라 생각했어요.
나에게 코드 A라는 인터뷰 있었잖아요. 제가 반찬 값보이라고 했는데 그거는 그냥 반찬 정도 되는 것 같아요.
저희 팀 토스가 김상준 선수보단 잘했지 못하다고 생각하진 않거든요. 그래서 그 선수들이랑만 평소대로 연습하면 4대 0까지도 나올 수 있을 것 같아요.
그냥 저희 팀 토스도 NS호서 토스랑 뭐 비교해도 뭐 부족하거나 이런 게 전혀 없는 것 같거든요, 제 생각엔. 그래서 그냥 똑같이 하면 될 것 같아요. 4대 0을 예상하고 싶은데 스프전이라 좀 변수가 있으니까 4대 1로 예상을 하고 있습니다.
제가 아무래도 결승에 올라왔다 보니까 이번 바켓룰이 너무나 좋은 것 같고요. 저희 팀이 약체팀으로 분류받았었는데 코드에서 올라가서 꼭 저희 팀도 강하다는 것을 보여드리고 싶습니다.
지금 코드 S에 코드 S급 실력이 아닌 분들이 좀 있거든요. 그래서 이번에 우승해서 그분들 빈자리 좀 채워서 코드 S 수준을 좀 높이고 싶어요.
힘들게 올라오셨는데 제가 프로토스 대 프로토스전이 자신이 있다 보니까 그냥 일주일 동안 승격 강등전 준비 열심히 하셨으면 좋겠어요.
열심히 연습하고 결승전에서 떨어져서 승강전 가실 거면 연습하지 마시고 그냥 편안한 마음으로 결승전 했으면 좋겠어요.
Well, that was pretty interesting. I liked the interview. Puzzle saying that he thought Tassadar was just a snack to him, I thought was a little bit weird, but there's Tassadar there. You can see his route to the finals, of course, taking out Lin 2-0, then taking down Ryung. Noblesse 2-0'd him. And then, of course, took out Leonov 3-1 Noblesse. That was a really interesting series. I recommend watching that. Some creative all-ins coming out of Tassadar in that one. Pretty
Still,
good
a win
players.
is a win, man.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Tassadar to me is that he shows a lot of different all-in timing attacks type of styles, and then later showed they can play an awesome macro game as well. And here is puzzle results. Taking out FXO Sheth, not Fox Sheth, and of course Slayers MMA, Bonbons, and Happy. Taking out Happy 3-0. Pretty solid advancement there.
That was a very solid advancement. People really woke up to the realization that Puzzle was a very strong player in that series because they've seen Happy a lot in the team league, and we're really impressed there. So both these guys, not really an easy road through. Well, there is no easy road to the Code A finals.
Yeah, there's definitely not.
No.
Keep in mind, these guys are both maybe a little underrated in the foreign scene, but in Korea, these guys both have been known for a long time. Tassadar ladders like crazy. Like, he plays so many ladder games. Like, everyone in the house has played him like 5 times. I mean, he plays all the time. Here are maps: Dual Sight, Tal'Darim, Altar, Kavas, Crossfire, Terminus, Zelnaga Fortress, and Belcher Beach. And Puzzle, by the way, he doesn't ladder as much, but for a time he was, and he was considered in Korea to be one of the scariest players in existence. Everyone was afraid of this guy, and they were kind of surprised he hadn't done well, and now he might be going into Code S. We don't know.
Straight to Code S for one of these guys. Let's find out. The game is starting, Wolf.
The map is loading. It's Dual Sight first up. Who's going to be on the light side? Who's going to be on the dark side? Can Tassadar solve the puzzle that is Zenx Puzzle? Will Puzzle take him out here in this first game? We'll find out as soon as the map loads. I thought we were going to jump right into it. I was like, oh. No, not quite. But, all right, we're going to jump into it now. All right, over here at the bottom left, member of the team, NS Hosa, named after a Protoss warrior. He is known as
NS호서 Tassadar.
There he is. Very scary player. There's a lot of different tricks up his sleeve. His opponent, the top right, member of the team Zenx, used to be known as Zero, and also used the name Force Field Mon. He is.
Puzzle.
Try to struggle to get that up. Force Field Mon.
Gotta be careful with that second name, man. It comes quick.
I know. Well, I expect that both these guys are going to play extremely standard right off the bat. I don't think we're going to see anything too crazy.
Well, they got a lot of games to get through. It is best of 7. They're going to have a lot of time to show the different strategies. But this map, we see I've personally seen a lot more DT play than any other map on this one.
Yeah,
it could just be skewed.
That is just a kind of a coincidence.
Yeah,
but you know that does seem to be the case. Something I'll say right off the bat is that Puzzle did go for a 13 gate instead of a 12 gate. That means his core is later, his warp gate research is later. So in certain 4 gate situations, that can become important. So I just want to mention that right off the bat.
Yep.
We're about to find out if these guys are going to take a second gas right off the bat or not, especially if they're going to do it in plain view of their opponent, what timings they're going to get their second gases, or if they're going to get it at all. You've seen that 4-gate has evolved to a sense where there was a time where people just stopped doing it because it was so hard to pull off after the sentries. And then people found out they could still do it. They had to do it a little bit differently.
Well, that's going to happen with every strategy throughout the game. It's going to keep rotating like that forever.
And we're just kind of in this current state of PvP right now where you don't know exactly what's going to happen because either one is still popular at this particular point.
Well, that just makes it more intense for the players themselves. They have to be even quicker. They need to be scouting more. They need to react appropriately to what exactly goes on. Whoa, there we go. There's the second gas.
Yeah, so Puzzle taking that second gas right off the bat here, not being shy, showing it to his opponent. That probe continuing to be annoying inside Tassadar's base. He wants to see if his opponent takes a second gas. And Tassadar's chrono boosting his warp gate right now.
Yeah, both of them have 50 energy on their Nexus as well, so that's probably going to go straight down on that warp gate research. But how's this second gas going to affect the different playstyles?
Well, here's the thing about the second gas. It opens up a lot of different playstyles. It means you can get more sentries out, but you have to be very careful because sentries aren't just about how many of them they have or how many force fields you have. It's about how many you can get away with not making. Because if you make more than 2 sentries, then your army is just worthless and your opponent can do whatever he wants because you've invested so much gas in that and the sentries cannot really fight. So right now we see Tassadar is going to go for a 4 Warp Gate attack. He has saved his chrono. He's used all of his chrono on that Warp Gate research after his opponent left his base.
Yeah.
He's got a Probe, a Zealot, and the Stalker going out in the middle of the map. If you guys have played PvP, you know what I'm talking about. This always happens, and you try to find it, but he is going to find it.
He is going to actually see it.
But he won't kill the Probe in time, I don't think, here, and he's got to run away. He wants to keep that Stalker alive. The Probe's going to make 2 pylons at the bottom of the ramp.
Yep. He does have a sentry coming in a couple of...
Oh, he's going to get a pylon on top of the ramp. This could be game ending if that pylon finishes.
Needs to pull that Stalker back. Does not want to lose it this early.
There's nowhere for the Stalker to run. Stalker will die, but he may end up being able to win this game because his Warp Gate research is done. They're warping into Warp Gates now. The pylon will finish. This could be it for Puzzle. His Warp Gates haven't even started morphing. There they go. Stalker's warping in. I think this is going to be the end of Puzzle. He's going to have to micro, but I don't know how much micro you can really do in
not
this
against
situation.
4 Stalkers. He's brought in two more Stalkers for himself, but that Warp Gate research was slightly slower, and that pylon on the top of the ramp is critical. He's chased out these Stalkers, but he doesn't really need to be that shy.
Yeah, this is going to be so hard for Puzzle to hold. He's going to lose that Zealot in the next round. If Units comes in, he's bringing in 3 Zealots. Oh, no, he lost the pylon, but there is vision. Warps in the second round at the pylon on the, of course, using that vision with his Stalkers. And again, he's just not going to be able to hold this. His units are just behind. And when you've got 3 Stalkers against 2 Stalkers with Zealots supporting them, you don't last very long.
Did get a big break with that pylon going down, but still it doesn't seem like it's going to be enough, especially with the Zealots chasing these Stalkers down, and he's losing probes. He's down to 16 supply. This is going to be it.
Yeah, I mean, he let the probe get up, and that's it. GG. That's game 1. Tassadar takes it with a solid 4 gate, made the right choice, made 1 pylon on the low ground, said, if I can get a pylon up on the high ground, I can win this game. And when I play PvP, the same thing happens to me sometimes. If you see your opponent take second gas, you go into it thinking, if I can force my way up that ramp and make 1 pylon, even 2 pylons on the high ground, the game will end because he made a sentry. And his warp gate research isn't as fast as mine. When you have those 4, you guys saw those 4 Stalkers warping in, the first 4 Stalkers before the warp gates were even done, that's it. The game ends from there.
And the face there on Puzzle is just sitting there. That was the face. That's PvP sometimes.
Yeah.
But he did see that probe a little bit early. I'm surprised he didn't try and take it out just quickly enough. He probably wouldn't have got it, but it's better to try than have that pylon.
Well, yeah, it's a little weird. What I would have liked to see him do was to target that probe down, I'd like to watch the replay because I don't remember exactly what happened because I feel like he could have force fielded the probe out just a little bit. It was definitely a possibility. Then what he did was correct. He brought some of his probes to deal with the Stalkers because the first 4 Stalkers, if you bring some of your probes and micro perfectly, you can kind of deal with those, but then the next warp in comes.
Yeah.
And you're like not even, your cooldown's only halfway done. And he's got twice as many units as you. And in PvP, the Stalker count is so important because Stalkers do so well against Stalkers. So you have 3 against 2, it gets out of control. Even if your opponent has more Zealots than you have Zealots, you just micro and
just run around the Zealots.
A Zealot can beat a Stalker if the Stalker can't move, but if you have good control and you fight in an open area, that's never going to happen.
But of course, we are going to go into the second map straight away. It is going to be Tassadar. Doesn't really change much though in PvP.
Well, on PvP, you pretty much have to 4-gate here.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I expect that both players will 4-gate. If one does not, and the other does, we'll probably see a very similar game to what we saw last game, if not even worse.
Yep.
There's no real ramp. There's a wide open ramp. So we're going to jump into the game right now.